Hi everybody and welcome to this Rookie Division General playthrough for the Winter Major here on the BK Golf Clash YouTube channel. General wind directions here gives you an overview of the holes and the routes you might want to take before we get started with this playthrough. Please remember to hit thumbs up on the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel as well, totally free to do so, and it helps grow the channel for me as well. Remember, as always on this channel with rookie content, we are using true rookie clubs. A lot of these setups can be used with different level drivers and indeed alternates as well. So I try and limit the spins that I'm using to make it applicable for most true rookie players. Hope you find it useful. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of this new course. Let's get started with hole number 1. And remember, if you want to go backwards and forwards, timestamps are in the video down below. And if you're playing Pro and Expert, we have a playthrough for those divisions as well. Here we go. On this par 4, we should try and get to green if we can. You will need a ball with 2 or 3 bars of side spin. We're going to add spin first. In this wind angle, I'm going with 3.5 top spin, 2 bars side spin to the left, and you want to aim in the middle of that island in the water. There's plenty of room on this one, even with a low accuracy club. Obviously try and hit perfect. And we're adding spin and setting up with a second bounce as shown, because we're going to use some left curl as well. The adjustment I'm using here is max plus 20. If you had a headwind angle on this one, you might want to use a slightly higher power ball to help you, but we're going with half a ball of curl to the left, hitting perfect, bouncing where we were aiming, second bounce on the next piece of fairway, and we roll nicely to the green here, and we're going to be putting for an eagle. Now we come to this par 3. Of course, you can bounce over on the circular fairway there that you can just about see there where my club was loading by default. But for the best chance at the hole-in-one, the rough bump is the way to go. It's going to be between 5 and 5.5 top spin, depending on your wind angle. Always 3 bars side spin to the left. So a katana or a kingmaker if you want to have a go at this one. Otherwise, you'd need to use curl. Aiming at the pin, leaving the ball guide deliberately short, because on this level of Goliath I haven't got a full ball guide. Yellow ring is touching the wooden kind of edging there and the rough line as well. And the adjustment in this wind angle is max plus 30. Perfect ball away, bounces very nicely in the rough. Obviously do need to hit perfect with the Goliath, and this one tracks very nicely for the hole-in-one. So either the bounce over or the rough bump. Onto this par 5 here, and I'm going to suggest you play down the right hand side of the water on these patches of fairway. Power 3 ball is needed because we want distance, and we're going with top spin and left spin with a Titan, max distance with extra mile 6, and we're going to aim down the middle of the next fairway, adjusting max distance 10% elevation. In headwind, this drive is a little trickier. You might need to use overpower or lay up a little bit shorter, but if possible, if you've got a nice crosswind or tailwind angle, we can go a little bit further down the fairway towards the green. Playing with some left curl to get down the middle of the fairway, perfect ball away, and this is going to be around 360 yards. The reason for pushing the drive down there is you can play with your long iron for a shot at the albatross. Here I want to aim in between the bunkers, and you're going to need a fair amount of backspin, around 4 bars, 3.5 to 4.5 bars of backspin if you can, depending on your wind angle. You can see here with crosswind with a hint of tailwind, 4 bars of backspin, aiming at the pin, ball guide a little bit short because it's not fully developed with the level of backbone that I have. Obviously any long iron will work here as long as it has sufficient backspin. And we're adjusting mid plus 20 on this one, medium distance, 20% elevation. No curl needed, no overpower, just a nice centered ball, perfect ball away, and you can have a good chance with the albatross here. If not, you're going to have a very easy eagle putt from close range. Onto a par 3 now, and we are going to play mid plus 15, bouncing over with our long iron. Doesn't have to be the backbone once again. Going with a navigator to cut the wind down. You don't really need anything more than a navigator or a marlin here. And you'll see I'm Aiming here with the third bounce just on the green in this wind angle, and it's a no spin shot. With more headwind, you'd need a little bit of topspin. With more tailwind, I would recommend you go with 0 to 0.5 bars of backspin, just to counter any wind push. But medium distance, 15% elevation here. You might want to offset left or right of pin if you get crosswind as well. But this gives you an idea. It's a nice flat piece of fairway and a flat green, and we're dropping it nicely here for the hole in one. Now, with this hole, I'm going to actually play a layup with the quarterback and a tighten. I'm going with 2 bars of right spin and 1.5 bars of top spin. And we want to aim with the second bounce nicely over the rough and the water. Aim down the middle of that little patch of fairway. With the quarterback level 6, I'm starting at +7 yards with the blue ring touching the rough. Start points will vary depending on your club level though. I like the quarterback for ball guide and more importantly accuracy, because we want to play an accurate layup here. Max +0, so max distance, no elevation, and we're going with outer wall curl to the right. Minor great left, minor great right with the quarterback here are going to be absolutely fine. And we want to approach the end of the fairway, get yourself about 3/4 to 4/5 of the way along that fairway, around 290 yards. That will enable us to play a bounce over shot with our wood club. I'm going with the Viper here. If you have the Sniper in low level with a better ball guide, then you can go with that as well. And as you can see, it's another no spin setup here. I'm aiming deliberately right of the pin in an attempt to try and offset some of the wind push. Although I'm not at max distance, I would recommend you play max +0. We're not far off max distance here. If you have a really nasty headwind angle and you don't want to use overpower, then you could of course play with the Big Dog or the Horizon. Both of them give you a lot more distance than the Viper or the Sniper. So there's just a couple of options there. Perfect ball away. Let's see how we get on here. It's all about kind of dialing in your aim depending on the wind angle that you've got. We come in with a nice speed, didn't really need to offset the ball guide, but a very good chance nonetheless. On this par 4, if you get any hint of tailwind or even just crosswind, I would recommend you go with a berserker and try and get to the green area. 4.5 top spin, 2 bars side spin to the left, and you want to go with the driver with the most distance as well as top spin. It's going to be the extra mile most likely. The big topper could be an option, but you haven't got as much distance on that club. But you have got extra top spin to make up for it, but a perfect ball would be needed. So at the max distance point with the berserker and the extra mile, aiming down the fairway, and just max +20, and then I'm pushing back up to max in line with the ball and the tee. Make sure you push up in a straight line. Half a ball of curl to the left, and going with a couple of rings of overpower, so it's still going to be a good possibility of hitting perfect. And let's see how this one does. You could, of course, go with a bit more overpower if you like, but we don't want to threaten landing into the rough. And as you can see, even here with 2 rings of overpower, got a very simple wedge for the eagle. Now onto this par 3, very nice flat fairway to aim on here, going with the backbone once again. And with the navigator, don't need any side spin on this one, and very minimal top spin or backspin. Even with this nasty headwind angle, I'm going to play a no spin shot. If you've got tailwind or crosswind, I would go with a little bit of backspin accordingly. Aiming at the pin, aiming on the middle of that nice flat piece of fairway. Loads of fairway to aim on here. Very good chance to get this one in the hole. Mid +15 would be my recommendation. That's the same for this wind angle at least. You might need to vary it with other wind angles, but it gives you a good starting point. A navigator cuts the wind down slightly. You can, of course, play with a marlin if you so wish. Perfect ball away, bounces on the fairway, second bounce onto the green, and tracks beautifully for the hole in one. Now, this is a little tricky par 4, and you need to have a good distance on your drive. I'm actually going to play this one quite aggressively with a Titan. A little bit of top spin, 2 bars side spin to the right, and I'm stretching out to find my first bounce on the fairway with the second bounce and ball guide pointing as shown once I've added spin. I look at how many rings I'm pushing into to find my position, because obviously after I've adjusted, I'm going to want to gain those rings back. Max plus 10 on this one. If you don't want to play this route, you can bounce over on that small circle of fairway. You can also play out to the left-hand side, but you need plenty of distance on your drive there because there is a tree in the way if you don't drive far enough down the left-hand fairway. Pushing up there, you might need some overpower as well, but we get the first bounce comfortably on the fairway. Going down the left-hand side, but that's where I want to be to set up a second shot with the Thorn. So 360 yards, looking at the max distance line to work out where I am in my club distance. And here I'm aiming at the pin. And I want to adjust according to where I think I am in my club. So here I estimated this one to be between mid and max. So you could use the slider if you want on your wind apps, or you could just use wind charts and estimate yourself, or just play by feel, of course. But 0 elevation, true club distance, TC on the notepad. If you hit a great right or you don't get as much distance on your drive, you'll be playing minimum distance with a long iron, but it's a nice simple no spin setup, aiming at the pin, leaving the ball guide short with my low level Thorn, hitting the pin for the eagle, dropping very nicely. Now a very tricky par 5 here, and the drive is key. We're going to go with a side spin 3 ball, either the katana or a kingmaker, 4.5 top spin, 3 bars side spin to the left. Yellow ring touching the rough there, and you can see the ball guide pointing over the bunker. Second bounce is nicely over the rough. In headwind, this is going to be a very difficult drive indeed for rookie players. You might want to take a kingmaker instead, just to try and cut some of the wind speed down. Mid plus 10 is the adjustment, and I'm going with max curl to the left with extra mile 6, so it's just before 3/4 ball curl to the left. Bounces comfortably on the rough, just clearing it nicely, and the top spin is taking us down the fairway, and your drive here is going to be about 300 yards. Doesn't look like you've got a clear shot there, but you have. And the good news is with a side spin 3 ball, that will help you get rid of the trees. Going with 2.5 to 2.8 top spin here with the Viper. If you're worried about top spin or have a nastier wind angle, I would play with a different wood club. You could go Horizon for distance, you could go Big Dog. Both of them have distance and top spin as well. The idea here is just to get comfortably to the green. Going to be very tough to get an albatross here with true rookie clubs. Max distance, 0 elevation. If you're worried about hitting the tree, you can play with some curl as well. Just get yourself to green very safely. Bounces nicely. Could do with a bit more distance here, but we're still not going to miss that one for the eagle. Thank you for watching this video on the Winter Major Tournament here on the channel. Please join us over on Facebook as well. It's totally free. We have a lovely community of nearly 12,000 members there. There's free guides posted, shot sharing and loads of discussion points, and you can interact and ask me questions as well. Great place to learn more about the game, and if you've got any suggestions, post in the group and see what others have to say as well. So head over to Facebook, search for BK Golf Clash. I look forward to seeing you there. Other than that, I wish you good luck for the Winter Major, and I look forward to seeing you all soon. Take care. Bye for now.